Nigeria's refineries were bleeding money, quietly and massively. Now the NNPC CEO is opening up on what really went wrong. This revelation could change how we see Nigeria's oil sector. Watch closely and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more credible national updates on K-Info TV.
Vertical learning curve, personally. Some of my colleagues we try to tap into the knowledge of people who know and all of that. But again, you are accountable. So you have to learn very, very fast. Otherwise, there's no escape and all of that. So we've been learning. But the first thing that was very clear, and I would like all of us to note, is that my leadership team, within a very short time, wanted to understand what was happening in the refinery. And I want to say that very clearly. The first thing that became clear is that we were running at a monumental loss to Nigeria. We were just wasting money. I can say that confidently now. So the first decisions I had to make was to stop the rot by ensuring that we stop. And first of all, calibrate quickly, rebase, to see what do we do. You wonder how we're losing money. We were pumping a cargo every month into the refineries. The utilization of those cargoes was maybe like 50%, right? That cargo is valued worth a lot. We're spending a lot of money in the operations, a lot of money on the contractors. But if you then look at the net, we're just leaking away a lot of value. And there was no clarity on what is the plan to turn that loss into positive, right? Sometimes you make a loss, maybe when you're making your investment, but you have a line of sight to when you're going to recover, right? And then you can go and sleep. But that line of sight wasn't clear. So we decided to just stop the refinery and do a quick check. Our plan was that if things were all lined up, we will reopen them and maybe work on them. We realized that we were destroying value also because the crude we were taking into Port Harcourt refinery, for example, we're coming up with mid-grade products, right? Mid-grade products that when you aggregate their value compared to what you put in was a waste. Now, of course, there were political pressures to keep refinery war running. There was a lot of pressures. And that's, again, what I said, that the blend of people like us who have been trained for over 35 years with blinkers on to look at commerciality and profitability, you can't sleep with that. It's not possible. You can't, right? So, yes, over the years, there's been several reasons. NNPC was the supplier of last resort. There were a lot of pressure on being able to maintain continuity and all of that. But we were not under that pressure. And thank God for Dangote Refinery. Thank God. Whether you love Dangote, you hate him, say whatever you want to say. Thank God. And thank God he's a Nigerian. He's not someone from another continent or another planet. Despite everything, that gave us an opportunity because we have a refinery that is working. Yes, may not meet our full needs, but it gives us a breathing space. And luckily, we are shareholders in that refinery as well. So we said, what's the hurry? We have a refinery that is working. Yes, not 100% owned by NNPC, but it's a Nigerian, built in Nigeria, working in Nigeria. Our strategy is to collaborate with the Dangote refinery and maximize the value delivered to Nigerians. That was our first strategy. And we started doing that. Had a meeting with Alhaji Dangote, explained our situations, and we agreed on the pathway towards deeper collaboration while still maintaining our role as NNPC, being the supplier of last resorts. Dangote is not the supplier of last resort by PIE. So our responsibility is whatever we do, we have to ensure that there is a healthy competition as well, but we need to do what we do. So once we secure that part, we're a little bit more relaxed to ensure that we find out what is going on around the refinery. So the refineries, like I said, after like 2 months of review, we saw that it's just one way. That way is value destruction for the next 30 years. We're not going to do that. So we stopped it completely. And we decided to embark on a major review. And I will explain to all of us, because now I'm more confident. I have learned. I have burnt my fingers and my toes and all of that. I will simplify the refinery story for you all so that you can tell the story yourself, right? To make the refinery work, you need three things. I've simplified it to three things. First, you need the financing because you need to finance the work, finance the activities, and all of that. Two, you need a competent EPC contractor to deliver world-class projects for you that are great. Three, you need a world-class operational capacity to run the refineries. So it's now I'm now clear that why has the Nigerian refinery never worked? This is Bayo's version. Anybody can have their own version, but this is my version. So if I'm wrong, please, I'm happy to be wrong, right? The reason our refineries have not worked is that we are focused on the first two, EPC and financing. Anybody who wants to do the financing, we all get value for the person financing and not financing you for free, right? They are financing you for margins and profitability. The EPC contractors, they do their work and get paid. So they move on. So you as NNPC are left for the next 20, 30, 40 years to run with those refineries. And we've never really focused on that. What we focused on was, when we came in, there was a lot of conversations around O&M, right? If you look at internationally, when you run an O&M, you must have a solid operational excellence team that can supervise your own O&M. Otherwise, they waste. Then O&M is another contract. So you end up with financing, EPC, O&M, all of them taking money from the system without any skin in the game. There's no way you can sustain any business like that. It's very clear. The system was designed for take, not to put anything in. So what we've decided to do is to focus on that part that has not been there. For those of us who spend years building big facilities, multi-billion-dollar facilities for the IOCs and all of that, we know these principles. The day you start a project, that day you appoint what we call an operational person, operational assurance person, who will be part of that project from the get-go and ensure that whatever you deliver can be operated. One of the privileges I had working in Shell was that I was on the commissioning team for the Qatar gas. From the beginning, during the project phase, I was in the operations readiness team. And far ahead of when the gas plants was to be constructed, I was there twice. We went to audit operational readiness for things that was about to be constructed. The second audit was when they were about 90% completed in the construction. So that you know, and all the things we pointed out was why operability will be a challenge, so that they can fix them. And then you put in the capability, the training, the resources to be able to operate. Remember, for most mega projects, you spend maybe 2-3 years thinking about the project, framing it, if you are very efficient. You spend maybe 3 to 5 years constructing it. You run it for 25, 30, 40, 50 years. So where should your focus be? And that is the one we treat with kids' gloves. So the current NNPC strategy, as approved by our board, is to focus on getting partners that have track record of running a refinery. We are not looking for contractors. We're not looking for O&M. We're looking for an entity that runs refineries. To come in, we're looking forward for them to buy some of our shares. So when you say sell, we will not say we are selling Nigerian refinery. No. Just like we'll probably look at options where you can sell down some of our equity so that they have a skin in the game. And with that, with their operational capacity, we will then cooperate with them. They lead the operation, and then we use that to redevelop, rebuild our own skills and support. And our mantra for the refinery is our solution is about putting a sustainable solution in place for it to self-finance itself. Thank you very much. Thank you. For it to self-finance itself, for it to run like a business. We know that everywhere in the world, refinery margins are very minute. So there's no way NNPC, the structure we have, we can run a profitable refinery. Forget it. We don't have the capacity right now.
Okay.
We need to bring in additional capacity to complement what we have to run those refineries. So where are we? Incidentally, I'm just coming from a meeting with one of the potential investors where we are looking at their plans. They are going to the refinery tomorrow to go and inspect.
Which one specifically?
Well, because of bidding, commercial sensitivity.
I had to try my luck.
What I can tell is that it's a Chinese company that has one of the biggest petrochemical plants in China.
Okay.
And we also have a few other companies as well.
How much equity are you relinquishing?
We're not sure yet,
okay.
But I can say that we will relinquish as much as required to be able to secure a sustainable deal. What we need today, trust me, is for the refinery to work, right? That's what we need.